I want to start with the Epstein files and what the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, told me in the last segment, that effectively, case closed. He said it's possible if somebody sees something with all of these documents that have been released that requires them to look into a potential prosecution, perhaps, but other than that, they're done.
And case closed has been their mantra since January. In January, they demanded all the files from the prosecutors in New York who were running the case, brought them to Washington and said, this case is over. We're not doing anything else. They told us the same thing when Kash Patel came to the Judiciary Committee. He said, it's been fully analyzed. Everything's been redacted. There's nothing to see there, and there are no further cases. And when people said, have you spoken to all the survivors? There are dozens of survivors who are out organizing and talking about what needs to be done. He says, well, our doors are open if they have something to tell us. They've done no real investigation. Their entire determination has been to shut it down to protect Donald Trump. And your interview with Mr. Blanche is astonishing because it shows he has never once attempted to make the transformation from being Donald Trump's personal criminal defense lawyer to the #2 person for the United States Department of Justice.
I know you want to see, a lot of this, as the last time, was redacted. A lot of the victims are upset that it looks like they were protecting the people who were, the men who were involved.
Yes. And
not necessarily them. But I know that the Justice Department, he said in his press conference Friday that people like you and other members of Congress could go and see the unredacted documents. Are you going to do that? And
Absolutely.
What are you going to be looking for?
We sent them a letter, and so we're demanding a right to do it. I hope that the Department of Justice will keep to its word and let us in there. Remember, they've said there are 6 million potentially responsive documents there. They've only released 3 million with more than 10,000 redactions. So we have to go look at those redactions. They've not sent us the explanation yet for those redactions. But then what about the other 3 million files? Because we are witnessing a full-blown cover-up. Remember, not only is there a subpoena to Attorney General Bondi to turn everything over to Congress, now there's a federal law compelling them to turn it over, and yet we're just getting these dribs and drabs of information coming out, the stuff that they want us to see.
Yeah. They say 3 million documents is not nothing, but
it's close to nothing when they're deciding which documents are coming out, and there's a federal law and a subpoena compelling them to just turn everything over to Congress. And they said that they had done this process many months ago, and there's nothing to see there.
I want to ask you about Georgia. The Deputy Attorney General didn't seem to know why the Director of National Intelligence was there when they went and seized the 2020 ballots and other information from Fulton County, which is kind of the epicenter of President Trump's unfounded claims about the election. Was it, you're a constitutional expert. Was that something that...
they haven't given us any explanation. I know that she's had, fairly close relations with Russia in the past, and maybe she's trying to investigate the Russian role. We know that Russia's been trying to interfere in our elections since 2016. So I really have no idea why she would be there. But I will tell you this about the elections case in Georgia. It has been thoroughly investigated, litigated, and adjudicated repeatedly. And remember, there are 60 federal and state court cases, including from Georgia, including from Trump-appointed judges, rejecting every claim of electoral fraud and corruption. In fact, Fox News had to pay the Dominion business $787 million because they lied about what had happened in Georgia, and they created, all kinds of fraudulent, defamatory statements about what took place there. You can read the January 6th Select Committee report about it. Nobody's laid a glove on that. In other words, this is settled fact. This is what the lawyers call res judicata. It's over. So Donald Trump obviously wants to keep going back to the scene of his crime, his attack on the election, to claim that something's there. But everybody saw what happened. He called up the Secretary of State, a Republican, Mr. Raffensperger, and he said, just find me 11,780 votes. That's all I want. And so that's not Donald Trump trying to stop election fraud. That's Donald Trump trying to commit election fraud.
I do want to ask about something that's coming up in the House this week, and that is the former president, Bill Clinton, and Hillary Clinton. They were already held in contempt by the Oversight Committee. And several Democrats voted yes on that, too. It's going to come before the full House soon. Will you vote yes?
I mean, I will vote yes on contempt against them and anybody else as long as Pam Bondi is part of it. And the Democrats on the Oversight Committee raised Pam Bondi. Remember, she's got millions of documents that she is legally compelled to turn over under a months-old subpoena and under federal law, and she's not doing it. So I don't think we should be holding anybody in contempt, including people who've engaged in at least partial compliance, unless we're going to get that huge mountain of documents that's being held by the DOJ.
So presumably Republicans are not going to do that.
Well, if they're not going to do it, then they're not serious about investigating the Epstein files, and that's what America wants.
So you vote no on the clip?
I will definitely vote no on any partisan measure, one side or the other. I want all of the information from everybody, and I want everybody to come forward and comply, including Ghislaine Maxwell, G-Max, the sexual predator who Virginia Giuffre said opened the gates to hell for these women and for these girls. I wonder if Mr. Blanche has even read Virginia Giuffre's book about what happened, Nobody's Girl. He should go ahead and read it and try to understand what he's doing, because he's acting like his only interest in the whole event is to protect Donald Trump.
I do want to ask about what's going on in Congress, which is directly related to what we were seeing on the ground in Minneapolis. The government is effectively shut down now because the House, the deadline came and went on Friday. The Senate passed a package that would fund most of the government. I shouldn't say the government is effectively shut down. Parts of the government are shut down.
Yeah, it's Homeland Security and some associated.
It's Homeland Security, and the House Democratic leader, Jeffries, said that there aren't enough Democrats to go along with Republicans to keep it open. What is going to happen? What do you want to happen in order to reopen the government with regard to DHS funding?
Well, that's the key question. And the country's in an uproar over what we've seen in Minneapolis, where they're shooting U.S. citizens in the face. People are being gunned down simply for exercising their First Amendment rights and their Second Amendment rights. And the whole country's been able to see that and to catch the administration in the lies and the propaganda and the disinformation they're telling. What do we want? We want the Constitution to be enforced. We want ICE to obey all of the laws that every other law enforcement entity in America obeys. They should not be masked. Local police are not masked. The county police are not masked. State police.
That was agreed to in general, but there's a 2-week window while those details are worked out.
Well, that's right.
Will you vote for something that at least funds the government for 2 weeks while that is negotiated?
Yeah, well, the devil is in the details, so we want to see everything that's in there. They should not be anonymous. They should be identifiable. And they have to have rules of engagement that don't allow them to terrorize and intimidate, harass, and assault U.S. citizens and other people.
Real quick before I let you go, the Department of Justice, according to Todd Blanche, is investigating the death of Alex Preddy. There's a Civil Rights Division investigation. Do you trust that?
Well, we'll have to see. A lot of people resigned precisely because they said they wouldn't investigate Alex Preddy's murder, and they would not investigate Renee Good's killing either. And so a lot of the people in the civil rights section have basically decamped because they're saying they're not serious. They were investigating Renee Good's spouse, her wife. They need to demonstrate that they are serious. And again, this is a Department of Justice which has barely a shred of credibility left because they keep lying about what they're doing. There are so many court decisions across the country that have found that DOJ has been lying in court about material matters to the justice system.
Congressman Jamie Raskin.